What's up, everybody? You already know who it is. It's DripGodDero, and I'm back at you guys with another banger. So, in today's video, I want to talk about what's next for the Washington Wizards. As we all know, the NBA draft did just happen yesterday. It was a lot of interesting picks made, and as we know, the Washington Wizards, they had one of the top picks. So, why not make a what's next for the Washington Wizards video, man? But hey, before we do hop into that, I want to shout out all the people who've been showing support on the channel. Y'all been going crazy. Hey man, y'all already know road to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I'm sure we can do that. So hey, if you haven't subscribed already, show your support by subscribing, and I'm gonna keep putting out these daily videos, man. Currently we are 3 for 3 or 4 for 4. I don't even know. But hey, let's switch over and let's get right into it. All right, so as we know, the Washington Wizards, they had a disaster of a season this year, man. They had a record of 15-67, and they were the 14th seed in the Eastern Conference. Now, this was definitely a surprise because a lot of people had a lot of hope for this team with them acquiring Jordan Poole and other players, but it turned out to be a disaster. One thing we can say that was good for this team is just that they were number one in pace. So with this team being fairly young, you do want the pace to be up. But besides that, let's talk about some of the players and some of their weaknesses and strengths and just the seasons that these players had overall. All right, so we're going to start off with Kyle Kuzma, the best player on the team, man. Kyle Kuzma, he had him a great season, man. He played 70 games, and in those 70 games, he averaged 22 points per game. Now, that was on 46% shooting from the field and 33% from the three. Now, I know those aren't very efficient numbers, but at the same time, I can partially account some of that just to the teammates. Let's be real, this team isn't that good of a team. It's a lot of players that shouldn't necessarily be in the NBA, and there was a lot of injuries and things like that going on with this team as well. So with that being said, overall, I still think that it was a solid season for him. He does need to improve on the efficiency, but hey man, that's the focal point on the team right there. Now, let's talk about the second player who was brought in to be that best player, but it just didn't pan out, and that is Jordan Poole. Now, Jordan Poole, he had one of the craziest stock drops of all time, in my opinion. I'm gonna keep it a band, man. It's crazy because the year before this one, everybody thought that he would be a future star just off of him playing with Steph and Clay and, you know, him just looking great with that team. But this year, with the pressure on him, with him being one of the focal points, he folded. He folded. That's all I can say. He folded. This year, he averaged 17.4 points per game. And I know you hear that and you think, oh, that's great. But then when you actually look at the efficiency, you like, nah. Man, he averaged 41% from the field and 32% from three. And he shot 7 threes. That's something you don't want to see. That's something you don't want to hear. And unfortunately, that was Jordan Poole's season this year. Also, when it comes to just, you know, passing the ball and things of that nature, he averaged 4 assists, but he averaged 3 turnovers. So, you know, you averaging 4 assists and 3 turnovers, you pretty much not really being positive when it comes to your passing. So overall, it was just a horrible season on his end, unfortunately. Now, a diamond in the rough, I would say, is Danny Avenesia. Now, he had a great season, man. He averaged 14 points per game. I know that doesn't pop out, but what really does pop out is his efficiency. He shot 50% from the field, and he shot 37% from three. So overall, great year. Then he also improved his defense. So he had a great year, man. He had a great year. A lot of the other players, they really didn't matter too much. Tyus Jones, he was okay this year, man. He shot 48% from the field and 41% from three. So he had a solid year. He averaged 12 points. Gafford, he got traded, so can't really speak on him too much. And a lot of these players were just in and out of the team. So there's no reason to really speak on them too much, to keep it real. Now, a fun fact on Danny Avenesia, he actually got traded, and I do want to show you guys what he got traded for. All right, so shout out to NBA.com, man. And like I was saying, hey, unfortunately, Danny, he got traded. And y'all can see right here, once again, shout out to NBA.com, that it says at the very top, Wizards agreed to trade Danny Avdija to Blazers for Malcolm Brogdon and the number 14 pick. So I scroll down, and then right here you can have a better, view of what actually happened and what trades happened. So the Wizards got Malcolm Brogdon, Carlton, a number 14 overall pick, the 2029 first round pick, a 2028 second round pick, and a 2030 second round pick. So pretty much they traded him for the number 14 pick in yesterday's draft, Malcolm Brogdon, and a 2029 first round pick. So overall, I say they got decent value, but me personally, I would have kept Danny. That's just me. Now, Trailblazers, they got Danny Avenesia, as you guys can see right there. So yeah, man, unfortunately, he's not on this team. And now let's just take a look at the salary so that we can break down what to expect from this team during the off season. All right, so you guys can see a shout out to hoopshype.com, man. And as you guys can see, their salary this year was around $150 million. And their team payroll was 23rd, so they weren't one of the top teams that's dishing out the most money. Now, y'all already know the different options. Light blue is player option, red is team option, green is qualifying offer, and purple is two-way contract. Now, let's look at some of these salaries so that we could get a better understanding of what the Washington Wizards will be working with next season. So, as we can see, this might be the worst contract on this team right now, and that's Jordan Poole. He is getting paid $30 million pretty much for the next 3 seasons. So he locked in for the next 3 seasons. It would be hard to trade him if you're thinking about that, just because his value is low right now. So that's tough. Now, Kyle Kuzma, he's on a great deal. Pretty much $20 million for the next 3 seasons. You like that? You like that a lot, man. You definitely like that a lot. Tyus Jones, he had a good year this year, but he won't be on the books this upcoming year. So that's $14 million that you have free. Marvin Bagley, he locked in for the next year. He probably not going to see too many minutes. I'm going to keep it real. He probably not going to see too many minutes. And the reason for that is because this team also got the number 2 pick in Alexander Sarr. So with that being said, Marvin Bagley, I'm sorry, man, they got to kick you off the team, and hey, they got to give Sarr those minutes. Let's just be real. Now, Rashawn Holmes, he is on a player option next year. I would keep him because I do think that he's a solid big, and I'd have Alexander Sarr starting, and I'd have Rashawn Holmes coming off the bench. Simple as that. That's solid. Now, to scroll down, Delon Wright, he's not on the team next year. Bilal Coulibaly, he locked in for the next 4 years. That's solid. That's cool. Like I said, Danny, he got traded. So his $15 million is not on the books. And like I was saying, man, I don't know if I would have traded him. I'm gonna keep it real. I don't know if I would have traded him, because he on a nice contract and it was for the next 4 years. He has plenty of potential too, man. He had a great year last year, so I don't know if I would have traded him. But other than that, man, we got a lot of players that don't really matter. I'm gonna keep it a band. And hey, man, let's just talk about what's next for this team. So, at number 1, what's next for this team? You got to give Alexander Sarr as many minutes as possible. And, just try to get him NBA ready, man. As we know, he's great defensively. But at the same time, you want to let him get some more reps offensively and get used to the NBA game. So, that's at number 1. Alexander Sarr, try to get him as many minutes as possible. Have, veterans like Rashawn Holmes and, players like that help him get more adjusted to the NBA game, and just give him that wisdom, give him that veteran leadership. So that's number 1. And number 2, Jordan Poole. He has to bring his value back, man. He had a horrible year last year, but I still do think that he has potential. I still do think that he can be a decent point guard in this league. But he got to be in the gym, man. This whole offseason, I need him in the gym working on his game. I need him confident when he coming into this upcoming season, and I need him to bring his value up, man. No more of the bonehead plays. If you need to work with certain different coaches or players, be it the Chris Pauls, to work on your IQ, whatever you need to do it. Because, like I said, he does have talent. In my opinion, he has talent. We seen it when he was on the Golden State Warriors. He just has to put that stuff together on this Washington Wizards team. So that's number 2. Number 3, this team does have some decent cap space in this upcoming season. And with that being said, what they need to do is try to get some decent role players, man. You don't gotta hit the jackpot and get a star, but at least get some decent role players that can play defense, because that's most important for this team. They really lacking in that area, and can make some open shots. If you could do that, I think this team will be okay. I'm not saying that they'll be one of the top teams in the East in this upcoming year, but I think that they could be middle of the pack. They could be, one of those teams that's showing some signs of life, because this year they wasn't. But hey, that's my thoughts on this Washington Wizards team. Also, one final thing, this extra credit, man, they coach. We need the coach to actually put in some work, man. That last year was horrible for both coaches that were coaching that team. So, hey, man, you got you a full off season if you the coach to, work on some different game schemes and try to put the players in the best positions for them to succeed. So, I definitely need their coach to put in the work and put these players in the best position to succeed. So, with all that being said, that's my thoughts on what's next for the Washington Wizards. You already know what to do. Like the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the motherfucking channel, turn on notifications and all that good stuff, and I'm out. Peace.